Hey guys, it's Wednesday. That means it's time for another EDC Weekly, and I have to say, wow, it's been a really good week for the EDC Weekly. There have been a ton of submissions, and I spent a long time yesterday going through these to pick out the 3 that I like the most, and they're all very similar in that they're all sort of brown themed. They have either brass or copper predominantly in them, as well as leather. And they're put together really, really well. Also, it's hot outside, which means it's time for seltzer water. Broke this bad boy back out. I made one of these back in like June or July of 2015. You can find a link up there. But just turn regular water into seltzer water, but I added a little lemon juice to it this time, and it carbonates even better, and it tastes amazing. Totally unrelated. So this is the EDC Weekly 017. This first submission comes from Paul Bensley, and it's easily the most simple setup of all the ones I'll feature today, and you can find him on Instagram at the Sales Magpie. First up here, we have a 42mm Apple Watch with a brown Crazy Horse leather band. There is a solid brass snail bottle opener and a Gerber Bear Grylls grandfather knife. The solid brass pill holder he says he uses to keep mainly painkillers and caffeine pills, and then he has a Lumentop mini worm brass colored flashlight. The solid brass EDC Gear P-06 bolt action pin comes with Fisher ink refill inside, and then there is a D2 slip joint knife with 9 CR14 MOV steel and a rosewood handle. Paul keeps it simple and says, I like the look of this loadout, used mainly when not working, and it allows me to stay within the strict UK laws. I highly recommend the D2 knife and the Lumentop flashlight. I love this loadout. The brown and the brass go together really, really well. And I will say that the first time I looked at this, I thought that there was like an e-ink display on the Bear Grylls knife. It just kind of looked like a display, not like a little embossed or a little emblem. It just, I don't know, it looked funky the first time I looked at it, but really nice photo, great EDC. Thank you for sharing, Paul. You now have a second entry into the April giveaway, which again, just a reminder, is the Trayvax wallet. The Trayvax Element wallet is what we're giving away this month. So, on to the next one. This next EDC, which you may have seen on Instagram the other day, comes from Michael Bach, who does not have an Instagram account or did not care to share. But it's a brilliant, brilliant EDC, and let's get into it. First up here is the Tech Liner Shorty in acid wash copper with a phosphor bronze clip from TI2 Design. There's an LG G4, going old school, with the LG leatherback cover. The front pocket ID wallet, which is in dark coffee brown, is from Saddleback Leather. Then there's a Vanguard MK3 or Mark III bronze from Gruppo Gamma. The flashlight is a Lumentop worm in copper with a leather pull tab and a DIY copper bead. And then he has a Leatherman Squirt PS4 with a Leatherman pull tab and a DIY copper bead. Then he has a leather organizer in nut brown from Wildfoot Leather, and then a DIY copper dangler to hold his keys. Michael says, I work as an IT instructor for young people with autism. This is my own person carry, which stays pretty much consistent. I try to keep things minimal so I won't be using it battling any zombies during the apocalypse. The earth tone theme is of course not totally random. In my opinion, both leather and copper age beautifully and capture the passage of time like a really long exposure photograph. I've spent hundreds of hours online through the years trying to find the perfect watch and finally settled on the fantastic Gruppo Gamma Vanguard, besides telling the time I use it to keep track of the duration while giving lectures. The Lumentop Worm and Leatherman Squirt are my go-to tools, and I use them very often around the house and at work. The leather organizer is a practical way of keeping them accessible in the pocket. And the copper dangler saves me the annoyance of having to dig through my pocket to find my keys. It's made from a piece of old water pipe and replaced my generic stainless steel dangler that I used to carry. Let me just say that this is probably the most well put together EDC that has been shared to the EDC Weekly. And if it's not that, it's probably the most well-composed picture of all the ones that have been shared. It's just really, really nice. It captured my attention almost immediately, and it just looks really, really cool. Very awesome EDC. Thank you, Michael, for sharing. You now have a second entry into the April giveaway. So this last EDC comes from Andrew W., who says he intentionally left the social media blank, so he doesn't want you to follow him. But like the others, this one is predominantly brown and leather. but very much brass, and the things that aren't brass, Andrew wishes were, but we'll get to that. First up here, we have a Samsung Galaxy Note 5 in an OtterBox commuter with a Nitize Steely on the back, and then on the front is an invisible shield glass. He carries the Ridge aluminum wallet and a Seiko 5 SNK 805 on his wrist with a Shinola 18mm extra long leather strap. He has an Altoid Smalls tin, which he uses to carry Altoids Arctic Mints or Trident Original Gum, not the small Altoids. There's a Gerber dime in red and a Buck Vantage Small with a rosewood diamond wood handle. He has a Mastrop exclusive brass flashlight, which is a Lumentop Tool TI, but custom made for Mastrop in brass, which I'm kind of jealous of. I wanted to get in on that and I missed it. There is a Kaweco Supra, Supra? I don't know. It's a pen with a medium nib and blue ink cartridge, he says, for now. There's a Skull Splitter, which is the 12-sided die in antique brass, Vertigo Z Plus butane double torch. There's an Exotac Freaky, and on that you will find a quarter leather and cloth bottle hook, a Transcend 16GB Jet Flash 720, a cigar punch cutter, and then Prometheus Kappa Quick Release, which, of course, is brass. Andrew says, and this one's a doozy, as you may be able to tell, I'm a lover of brass. Best alloy known to man. I use the Nitize Steely to hold my phone in my car without any hassle. No need to fiddle with anything, just pop it onto the dash mount. I'm also able to place the phone on unorthodox surfaces, such as my stove hood while I cook a new recipe. I wish it came in brass. I use the Ridge wallet to force a cards and cash only carry. No George Costanza for me. I really wish there was a brass option. I check the time and date probably 2 or 3 dozen times per day on my Seiko 5, which is such a great gateway drug to mechanical watches. Wouldn't mind if they had a brass version. I use the mincer gum in Altoid Smalls container several times per day. After my morning cup of French press coffee, after each of my meals, I like talking to people with confidence that I'm not breathing bad breath in their faces. Don't you wish they made brass mints? The Gerber dime is used at least once every day or so. Helped a friend put up a curtain rod with it just the other day. The sleeper tool on this thing is the retail packaging opener tool. I use that a lot more than I thought I would. I wish it was available in brass though, at least the scales. I'm an avid fountain pen user, and the Supra is carried in my pocket so that whenever I'm away from my desk and therefore not around other pens, I have a reliable writer on me. Signing receipts, jotting notes, and eliciting stares from people are the common tasks this pen performs. Oh, and did I mention that it's beautiful brass? Why carry a die? It's my fidget toy with the added benefit of being able to help decide things. Indecisive which place to hit for lunch? Roll a die. 12 sides? How do you choose? Do you have 12 options? You write out the assignments for each side? Like, what do you do with a 12-sided die? I feel as though it's the most pleasing to hold and yet the most neglected die in the common polyhedral set, and it's brass in all caps. The butane torch and cigar cutter I carry because I smoke cigars fairly often. Zippo fuel will taint the flavor of a cigar, which is the main point of a cigar smoking, hence the butane mod. I use a Zippo case because I love being able to simply mod a Zippo to fit my needs. Zippers are just plain awesome, especially when it's brass. The Kappa Quick Release is such a well-made tool. I keep it in my car key because I don't like the weight of keychains dangling from the ignition while driving, so I like to separate before I start my car. It's also nice to be able to run into your house quickly for something while keeping your car running if need be, and of course, it's brass. The Exotac Free Key makes it easy to remove things, yet still keeps classic keyring design so it stays compatible with other things designed for keyrings. I wish it was available in brass. The bottle hook is brass, so there's that. And it's a great replacement for a carabiner as a belt loop key retention tool. I feel like I don't really need to explain the usefulness of a pocket knife and a flashlight, but I would like to point out that the Mastrop chose brass for their exclusive collaboration with Lumentop. This is because they know how excellent brass is. Andrew, I think you have a problem. You may actually be addicted to brass. This is insane. I don't even know what to say. Brass is nice. I have a brass Rotobo. I'm surprised you don't have that fidget spinner. It's in brass. It also comes with brass buttons. It's a really nice EDC. You've got a lot going on here. I do like the bottle opener that you have on your keychain. I've been looking for those. I looked for those just as long as I looked for the snake hook. Didn't know what they were called, but that one's really nice. It's brass. You know. Awesome EDC, thank you for sharing. You now have a second entry into the April giveaway, and thank you all for sharing. Continue to do so. You can do so at Mod at Home. Go there, submit your information, submit your EDC. Do so if you've done it in the past and you haven't done it in a few months. Get in on this giveaway. We're doing the Travax Element wallet for the giveaway. Yeah, so get in on that. That's a $100 wallet and it's fantastic looking. I can't say it's fantastic. I haven't actually used one, but it looks really cool. So there you go. Also, if you found this video helpful and you want to see more like it in the future, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe. People continue to tell me not to make this show go away. It's not going anywhere, but it would be really big help if you would just spread the word, get it out there to the other people who might like EDC stuff, because there are a lot of other communities that I have not connected with and I would love to do so. And you can also help support the EDC Weekly by clicking any of the links in the description down below and purchasing this stuff, or just purchasing whatever you're gonna purchase from Amazon, but just click through those links first, because it helps the show and we get a little kickback from it. And you can also go to patreon.com/CasperTech and help there. So with that said, you can find us around the web down below. I'm not gonna try to explain that anymore. I'm gonna try to get all that fixed this weekend, as well as a new website, and a whole bunch of other stuff. I put off going camping this coming weekend to just do some housekeeping that really needs to be done. So that'll be done this weekend. No more delays, no more excuses. It's got to get done. Of course, one last time, my name is Taylor Martin, and you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at CasperTech. And until next time, live outdoors a little.